Djokovic's big advantage to face Carlos Alcaraz in Indian Wells. The Serbian tennis player will have Andy Murray as his coach for both Indian Wells and Miami. Novak Djokovic is back on the courts, facing a real challenge in Indian Wells as he pursues his 100th title and aims to become the most successful player in this tournament. The Serbian has 5 Masters 1000 titles at Indian Wells, tied with Roger Federer, so he is looking to take one more step and crown himself as the king of this event. However, it will not be easy. Noel enters this competition after an injury forced him to withdraw from the Australian Open, having played only one other tournament since then, where he was eliminated early. However, he is confirmed to play both Indian Wells and the Miami Masters 1000 this month, and he will have an extra weapon in these competitions: Andy Murray. Andy Murray will continue as Djokovic's coach. The partnership between Djokovic and Murray, who were once great rivals on the court, as coach and student, was a real surprise to the tennis world, which is eager to see two of the sport's biggest names take on this journey together. However, it is unclear how long the former British player will continue coaching Noel, making every tournament they compete in together a real luxury. For now, Andy Murray will remain Djokovic's coach at least until the Miami Masters 1000, meaning he will also be with him at Indian Wells. This is a crucial factor for the world number 7, who, if he reaches the quarterfinals, will face his toughest match yet, another showdown against Carlos Alcaraz after the Australian Open. Before this possible duel with the Spaniard, Noel could face Kyrgios in his debut, Cerundolo or Davidovich in the 3rd round, and Minor or Hurkacz in the 4th round. Djokovic faces a challenge against Alcaraz in Indian Wells. Following the draw that determined the bracket for one of the most important tournaments of the season, the tennis world could witness another classic match between Djokovic and Alcaraz. For this to happen, both players must reach the quarterfinals, and Noel will have Murray by his side to help him achieve it. Meanwhile, the Spanish player arrives in top form, determined to win this title and fight for the ATP number 1 spot, taking advantage of Sinner's absence. If this match takes place, both players will have a lot at stake, making it another early final, this time in the desert of Indian Wells. Carlos Alcaraz competes with big stars at the Laureus Awards. The Spanish tennis player has been nominated for Best Sportsman of the Year at the Laureus Awards. Carlos Alcaraz is gaining more and more recognition worldwide. The Spaniard has managed to fill the gap left by Rafa Nadal as Spain's most influential tennis player, currently ranked 3rd in the ATP with strong chances of competing for the number 1 spot against Jannik Sinner, who will be out for the next 3 months due to his doping ban. March will be a crucial month in his quest to become the best tennis player in the world, as the Spaniard faces the Sunshine Double, with the Masters 1000 tournaments in Indian Wells and Miami as key events. However, on Monday, another major competition was announced for Alcaraz in 2025. He has been nominated for the Laureus Awards in a year where he will compete against true sports legends. Carlos Alcaraz nominated for the Laureus Awards once again. The 21-year-old tennis player already has a Laureus Award in his collection, having won one of the most prestigious trophies in sports in 2023 in the Breakthrough of the Year category. Now, he takes a step further and has the chance to win his 2nd Laureus, this time in the most prestigious category, Best Sportsman of the Year. However, Alcaraz will face fierce competition. His rivals for this award include Tadej Pogačar, the undisputed king of cycling, Max Verstappen, who secured another F1 World Championship despite strong competition from McLaren, Armand Duplantis, the Olympic pole vault champion who continues to break world records, and Leon Marchand, the Olympic swimming champion who shattered records at the Paris edition. Carlos Alcaraz delivers a blow to Jannik Sinner. The Spaniard made a strong case last season to be among the top 5 athletes in the world, winning 2 of the 4 Grand Slam tournaments, Roland Garros and Wimbledon, and being the only player to challenge Jannik Sinner. In fact, the Italian's absence from these awards in favor of Alcaraz is a major blow for the current world number 1, as despite dominating on the courts, the Spaniard is the one being recognized at these prestigious awards. Carlos Alcaraz faces a tough challenge at Indian Wells. Carlos Alcaraz will get his revenge against Novak Djokovic, this time in Indian Wells, as fate has once again drawn the Serbian and the Spaniard into a potential quarterfinal clash. However, before that, he has a tough road ahead. Luck was not on Carlos Alcaraz's side in the Indian Wells draw. Just like in the Australian Open, where of all the top-tier opponents he could have faced, he got Novak Djokovic in the quarterfinals, the same will happen in the Coachella Desert. As the 2nd seed, Alcaraz had a 25% chance of drawing the Serbian in the same round, and that's exactly what happened. However, before reaching that stage, both players must overcome challenging matches set by the draw. This year, Alcaraz faces a disadvantage due to a change in court surface. The tournament organizers have switched the court supplier to match those used at the Miami Open and the US Open, which are much faster. While Alcaraz has won on both surfaces, he loses the significant advantage he previously had in Indian Wells, where conditions were much slower. Additionally, he has a tough path ahead, as he will debut in the second round against the winner of a qualifier or the informed Frenchman Quentin Elise, who recently reached the semifinals in Dubai. Much more than Djokovic. As if a tough debut wasn't enough, in the third round, Alcaraz is expected to face one of the most informed players, Denis Shapovalov. In the round of 16, he could meet Grigor Dimitrov or Seb Korda, both of whom have beaten him before. If he overcomes these hurdles, he will then likely face Noel in the quarterfinals, although another possibility is Alex de Minaur. The semifinals, based on ranking, could feature top contenders like Rublev or Fritz, with dangerous threats such as Ben Shelton. And in the final, the competition intensifies even more, with potential opponents including Zverev, Medvedev, Ruud, or an unexpected challenger. The number one spot in sight, Carlitos has a lot at stake in the coming weeks, as he has a golden opportunity to gain significant points on Jannik Sinner due to the Italian's doping suspension. The absence of his biggest rival for the top ranking gives Alcaraz a crucial window to close the gap and potentially reclaim the world number one spot in the ATP rankings. However, the challenge ahead is anything but easy, as he must perform at his very best in the upcoming tournaments. To begin with, Indian Wells will be a pivotal test for the Spaniard. Alcaraz must win the tournament for the third consecutive year in order to maintain his 1,000 ranking points, which is no small feat given the highly competitive field. Indian Wells has historically been a favorable venue for him due to the slower conditions, but with the recent court surface change to a faster setup, his dominance could be put to the test. Additionally, his draw is far from favorable, as he could face dangerous opponents early on, making his title defense even more challenging. Meanwhile, Sinner, despite his absence, still has points to defend, as he reached the semifinals last year. If Alcaraz can successfully retain his title, he will not only solidify his ranking position but also apply serious pressure on Sinner ahead of the Miami Open. The real opportunity for Alcaraz, however, will come in Miami, starting on March 18. This is where he can make the most significant gains, as last year he fell in the quarterfinals to Grigor Dimitrov, while Sinner went on to win the tournament. With the Italian out of the competition, Miami presents an ideal scenario for Alcaraz to accumulate a substantial number of points. A deep run or even a victory in Miami could be the decisive moment in his pursuit of the number one ranking. Beyond the rankings, these upcoming tournaments will also serve as a statement of intent for Alcaraz. If he can capitalize on this period and dominate in Indian Wells and Miami, he will establish himself as the man to beat heading into the clay court season, where he has traditionally excelled. With Roland Garros on the horizon, a strong performance in March could set the stage for an even bigger push toward cementing his status as the best player in the world. In short, the stakes could not be higher for Alcaraz. Every match, every set, and every point in these next few weeks will play a crucial role in determining whether he can seize the number one ranking. With his undeniable talent and hunger for success, all eyes will be on the young Spaniard as he embarks on one of the most important stretches of his career.